Which Wi-Fi are we connected to? Excellent. Cancel. Let's see. Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? Welcome back to Thursday Night Live with Dream English. I'm your host, Alex. You guys are stuck with me for the next little while. Hello, Miss Evelyn. How are you, Miss Evelyn? It's good to see you. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow as well. I'm just going to wait for a few more people to join. We're going to get right into it. Let me guys know where you are in the world. I know Miss Evelyn is in Sydney. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay, if I need to change any of the settings for the microphone. Today I don't have my help. Normally I have Justin over here to help me out, but today he wasn't feeling well. I think he was editing too many videos. Hello, Mr. Gurpreet. How are you, Gurpreet? Hello, Sana. Good to see you guys. Let me know where everybody is located. I'm going to wait for a few more minutes for other people to join. And then once everybody else is here, we're going to get straight into it. So today, fairly important topic, which is how much time do you really need for PTE? And I got some stories as well, which you guys will find quite funny. Maybe some of you guys can relate. Mr. Who do we have here? We got Kalpesh on Instagram. We got Pradeep. Pradeep, how are you, Pradeep? We're going to cover your questions shortly. We got Bisu, Shrina, Tasmania, very nice. Nepal. Hello, Nepal. Namaste. My Nepali is not that good. I just know momos and tikcha. We got Bijun. Oh, you're one of ours. You're one of our students. I thought you'd get tired from me in class. We got Pop. How are you, Pop? Nav, Atik. Nice to see you, Atik. I think we spoke on YouTube a little bit as well. From India, Nepal, we got people everywhere. And if you guys can kind of give me an idea, if you've given the exam before, if you have, what's your score? If you haven't given the exam before, when is your date coming up? So this way, at least I can give you guys some relevant advice and not just talk nonstop for, for the duration. So I got about 20 minutes. I'll try to cover the most important things. Melbourne, very nice. Jasmeet. Okay, so those of you guys that were here for the session last week, let me just get a marker. Those of you guys that are present for the live session last week. So last week we covered the 4 most important questions in PTE. If you were here last week, maybe you guys can help me out. Do you remember what are the 4 most important questions? So there are 4 questions that if you do them well, if you do them correctly, they're going to make up half of your total marks in your exam. Any idea what they are? Any guesses? So there's 4 of them. Probably 4 of the hardest ones as well. Any clues at all? Yes, very good. So we got the first one, which is your read aloud. And if you guys can remember, read aloud. I'm not sure if you can see this or not. If you can't, I'm going to move this a bit closer. And remember, read aloud is important for your speaking section. It's also important for your reading section. Write from dictation, very good. We got the second one, write from dictation. Yes, we got 2 more to go. Repeat sentences. You guys are good. That means I know you're paying attention last week. So dictation obviously gives you marks towards your listening and towards your writing. Repeat sentences gives you marks in your listening and in your speaking section. And there's one more. If you guys can recall what it was. One more question. So far we got read aloud, write from dictation, repeat sentences. What's the 4th one? Yes, you're partially correct. Fill in the blanks. Yes. Specifically, we got reading and writing FIBs, which obviously, as the title says, I'm not sure if you can see this properly, gives you marks in your reading and in your writing section. So the reason why I wanted to do this live session, and if you guys like it, we're going to do this every week or every couple of weeks. We get funny calls every day. Okay, so we get funny calls. For example, today we got a phone call from somebody who's given the exam one time before. Okay, I'm not going to mention the name, But this lady basically goes, I want to give my exam. So we say, okay, have you given the exam before? She says, yes, I've given the exam only one time. It was 2 weeks ago. And we ask her, what did you get in your exam? I got overall 52. Okay. What score do you need? She goes, I need 79 plus. We said, okay, look, so typically for anybody that needs to get 79 plus, regardless of where you're at, the minimum time we ask you to put towards your studies, 4 weeks classes plus minimum 1 week for your mock tests. So this lady goes, actually, I got my exam booked next week. So you gave the exam a couple weeks back, you got 56 overall, and now you need 79, and you're planning to give the exam in 1 week. So we were really upfront. We told her, doesn't matter if you go to see a wizard, to a witch doctor, to a magician, even they cannot snap their fingers and make you get 79 from 56. That's a very big jump, right? That's a jump by more than 20 points. So I want to actually give you guys kind of a realistic idea of how much time you should spend on every question. And please let me know if you can see this properly or not. I think it might be a little bit blurry because of the lights. I'll try to write in big letters, but I want you to write this down. If you got a pen and paper, or if not, get a pen and paper, and I want you guys to write this down. So at least you have something to follow, at least you have something to study, how much time you should realistically spend on every question, how many questions are there in total, how many questions you should prepare. So those of you guys that have watched any videos, I'm very upfront. I will tell you I'm a lazy person. So not in terms of my work ethic, but I want the shortcut. I don't want to waste time. I don't want to spend time doing redundant things. I don't want to repeat unnecessary tasks. So I want to focus on what are the questions that give me the most marks, and I'm going to put as much effort as I can towards those questions. I'm going to cover my basic and kind of understand how the other questions work. So I'm a little bit competent. I know what I'm doing. So I know how many words to write for the essay. I know what's the structure of a summary. And then I'm going to spend most of my time on these questions. So to give you guys a realistic look, here's what you need to know. Okay? I'm going to give you an idea of how many questions there are in total for each one of those 4 important sections, how many you need to practice. And again, let me know if you can see this properly or not. I'll try to write in big, fat letters. So remember, the single most important question, the one you cannot mess up, is right from dictation. So we got right from dictation. Now, in total, it doesn't give you the most marks. The question that gives you the most marks in total is your repeat sentences, because there's a lot of them. You might get 10, you might get 12. For dictation, you only get either 3 or 4 questions in your test. But single-handedly, for one question, it's got the highest weight distribution, right? So switch off the light near to whiteboard. Let's try this. Let's see if this is better. Not sure how well you guys can see. Maybe I'll write a little bit lower. Okay, so right from dictation, as I mentioned, is the most important question, because single-handedly, if you miss one, you probably will not get 79. If you miss 2 of them, maybe you get 65. If you miss 3, you definitely don't get 65. If you miss all 4, you won't even get 50, unfortunately. So for right from dictation, at the moment in the exam, there are about 650 sentences. Okay, there's about 650 sentences. So in the last 3 weeks since Christmas, because their head office is in the States, so over the Christmas break, they got time to add new questions. In the last, I would say 2 to 3 weeks, they increased right from dictation by 150 sentences. So before there used to be about 500 to 530, now it's about 650 to 670. If you guys go to some sites to practice, so there are a lot of free sites where people go to practice, or YouTube videos, which is good. What you will find, some websites have roughly 1,000 to 1,300 dictations. And that's true. But what I mean 650 unique sentences, meaning sentences that are not that different from one another. So for example, there is one sentence that says in the exam, an aerial photograph was promptly registered for thorough evaluation. And there is a similar one that says the aerial photographs. So instead of an aerial photograph, they say the aerial photographs, meaning as a whole, the sentence is very similar, but there are one or two words that have slight differences. So what I mean is unique sentences. There are, let's say, more than two words different. There's about 650 unique ones. So how long does it take to practice that? Okay, to practice 650 dictations thoroughly is going to take you about 6.5 hours in total. So what I mean is this. You listen to the sentence one time, okay? You're going to write it by hand or you're going to type it really quickly. You're going to correct your mistakes. You're going to look for any spelling mistakes, any grammar mistakes, and then you're going to correct your mistakes, and then you're going to go on to the next question. So 650 write from dictations will take you about 6.5 hours. So please, I want you guys to write 6.5 hours just for your write from dictation. Now, out of 650 dictations, it depends on your English level. So maybe your English listening ability is fairly strong, maybe it's a little bit weaker. But let's say somebody who's average English level, somebody who got maybe close to 7 in each in IELTS, maybe you didn't get 7 in each, but you got 7 overall in IELTS. So doing 6.5 hours won't be enough. What are you going to have to do? You're going to have to finish all 650 one time, and then a second time, maybe out of 650, you messed up 200 sentences. So those 200 sentences, you're going to do it again. Out of those 200 sentences, maybe you're still messing up 100 sentences. You're going to do those 100 sentences again. And out of those 100, by the last time, maybe you're only going to have only 30 to 40 sentences. And those are the sentences that you're going to keep repeating over and over and over again. Because those are sentences with difficult vocabulary. Those are sentences that are too long. So for example, there's 1 or 2 dictations in the PTE question bank that's more than 15 words. So there's one that's 17, one that's 18 words. Meaning if you hear this sentence for the first time, there's no way, it's impossible, there's no way that you're going to get it 100% correct. Hello, Mr. Ravinder, good to see you. So if you get a sentence, and I'll tell you guys one of them. So I'm going to say it full speed, and then I'm going to say it slowly. And I'm going to say it full speed. I want you guys to try to just repeat it, or maybe take notes if you have a pen and paper. And if you're one of our students, probably it's easy for you because you've heard it before, but those of you guys that have never attended our classes. Okay, so I'm going to give you a countdown, and then I'm going to do the whole sentence. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Law is beneficial to investors by protecting their rights and avoiding any improper actions in the market. And I'll give you guys 10 to 15 seconds to write it. Any luck? So this is actually the speed you might get in your exam for some of the sentences. So again, law is beneficial to investors by protecting their rights and avoiding any improper actions in the market. So that's 17 words in total. Now, I don't care how good your English is. I don't care how good your listening skill is. You can give this to Albert Einstein in his prime when he was still alive. There's no way he's going to catch that first try. So back to this, those 30 to 40 sentences, you're going to repeat, you're going to sing them, you're going to pray to them, you're going to keep repeating them all the way till your exam over and over and over again. So forget this 6.5 hours. To do this properly, thoroughly, the way I just explained to you guys, in total is going to take you about 10 hours. So the most important question is done. 10 hours total for write from dictation. And I think I have to finish this in 10 minutes. So let's speed it up a little bit. So please write down 10 hours for your write from dictation, and probably a good idea to keep listening to those sentences over and over and over again. You're in the train, put in your headphones. You're at home, have the printout, read them over and over and over again. Actually, one of the people watching, Evelyn, she's one of my students. If you message Evelyn or you tag her in the comment section and you ask her to send her a screenshot of your dictations, she does like 100 dictation every day like it's religious. And she'll have a table with how many mistakes she made, and then she'll do it again and show you how many mistakes she made, and then every time it's improving. So Evelyn, I know you spend at least 30 to 40 minutes on dictation. The next question, repeat sentences. So repeat sentences, probably one of my most hated questions. The reason why, there's limited amount of teaching I can do for repeat sentences. So again, for repeat sentences, they test more your short-term memory than they do your actual English skill. Maybe you understand the sentence, but you struggle to arrange it in sequence. Maybe you understand the sentence, but your short memory is bad and you cannot repeat it. So repeat sentences is my most hated one. The reason why as well, you will not get all repeat sentences repeated in your test. Dictations, 100%. Those do come in the exam. Repeat sentences, last time I was keeping track of them, there's about 3,000 to 4,000 in the PTE database. So the worst thing is, this is a sentence that's very easy for them to add into the system. Because the way they mark this, it's a little bit different from dictation. So it's a little bit less strict, meaning they can get away with adding a lot of new sentences. So for repeat sentence, at the moment, there's about 3,000 to 4,000 sentences. Unlike dictation, there's no way you're going to memorize this, right? And Evelyn, you guys see in the comment section, she confirmed that she does a lot of dictations. So you might do 4,000 repeat sentences. You might only get 3, 4, or 5 maximum repeated in the exam. There's no way nobody in PTE will get 10 out of 10 or 12 out of 12 repeat sentences repeated. So what do you guys need to do? There's lots of websites, there's lots of YouTube channels, there's lots of portals from where you can practice. For repeat sentences, I would spend every day practicing minimum 25 to 30 sentences. 25 to 30 sentences, because look, some of you guys are pretty good. So some of you guys have good short-term memory. Sentences up to 10 words you can manage to get, right? So 8 to 10 words you can manage to catch. If it's more than 10 words, you're going to struggle. But out of those longer sentences, which is about half, which is about 5 to 6 sentences, you might get 2 or 3 repeated that you heard before, or you got from our prediction file, or you got from wherever you get it from. So half of your repeat sentences, 5 out of 10, should be fairly manageable. They should be fairly short, fairly easy to understand. Plus, let's say 2 sentences, you might get repeated that you heard before. I think the other 3 sentences you guys can manage to do by yourself, but your job is to practice 25 to 30 every single day. And if you don't know the trick for repeat sentences, watch the video I did last week, because I gave a lot of the tricks, the secrets for it away. So practice 25 to 30 per day, and this is probably going to take you anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. This is something that's going to be done every single day. Let's move on to the next question. So the next question is reading and writing fill in the blanks, which you guys remember is one of the most important questions, reading and writing FIBs. Again, this is the question that used to be easier. Whenever I used to teach the class exactly a year ago, there used to be in total about 250 reading and writing fill in the blanks, as well as the other fill in the blanks. 250 questions you can cram. I had a lot of guys and girls from India, from Nepal, from Pakistan, from Punjab, so most of you guys are good at cramming. When you have only 250 questions, even though you don't know the meaning of the word, it's very easy to remember it. The problem is, nowadays, for all the fill in the blanks combined, there's anywhere from 700 to 800 questions. And out of those 700 to 800 questions, about 450 will be your reading and writing fill in the blanks. So 450, again, will be your reading and writing fill in the blanks. Now, if you guys seen the YouTube video we posted a while ago about time management in the reading section, does anybody know how much time you should be spending on the reading and writing fill in the blanks? So if you know, comment in here. I know my students would probably know. Miss Lakshmi, how are you? Long time no see. So those of you guys that studied with me, how much time should we spend on the reading and writing fill in the blanks? Maybe a little bit more than that. So For each question, you want to spend roughly 2.5 to 3 minutes maximum. So let's say if you're really quick and you're practicing, you're spending 2.5 minutes per question. My math is not that good, so I'm going to use a calculator. And hopefully everybody can see. We got 450 questions minimum, assuming you're only practicing one type of fill in the blanks. At 2.5 minutes each, that's over 1,000 minutes, divided by 60. Can everybody see this? 18.5, almost 19 hours. Meaning I need to spend 19 hours, let's make it round, 20 hours, just so my reading and writing fill in the blanks, excluding the other ones. So let's make it easier, let's make it even. Let's say I'm going to spend 10 on the other ones. That means I need to spend a total of 30 hours, assuming my English is around, let's say 6.5 to 7 overall IELTS level. Now, if it's weaker than this, obviously you need to spend more time, because it's not enough to just read the question and check your answer, see if it's right or wrong. You actually need to understand why you're picking that particular word. And again, this won't be enough, because by the time you spend 30 hours towards your reading and writing fill in the blanks, you're going to start to forget question number 1 and 2 and 3 and 50. So you're going to have to revise it. So I would say on top of that, you're going to need an extra 10 hours to revise. So in total, you got about 40 hours just for the fill in the blanks. And remember, for write from dictation, we already said we're going to put about 10 hours total. So that's 50 hours that just go towards 2 questions. What else are we missing? Repeat sentences. Remember, for repeat sentences, you're going to spend roughly 15 to 20 minutes every single day. And assuming you're preparing for 3 to 4 weeks, again, you guys do the math. So we only got one question left. And once that question is done, I'm going to have to log out, because I think my live session almost reached its limit. So the last question is going to be your read aloud. Okay? For read aloud, there's different software you can use to test your accuracy. Even though it helps, you still need a human touch to listen, to understand what kind of mistakes you're making. For example, people that speak Telugu or Tamil, they struggle with the pacing. People that speak Punjabi, they struggle with the S or ED, or they mumble, they eat the words. People from Nepal, how do you say shy fish? Usually they say sai fish. So again, that's okay, but there's certain things we need to do with the SH sound. People that speak Portuguese, Evelyn, even though your pronunciation is 90, so they don't say developed, they say developed. So they put emphasis on the ending of the word. So things like that we can fix, but assuming your read aloud is okay, I would say you need to practice 20 to 30 every single day. Okay? Your accuracy, your percentage of words that are getting picked up should be 80% or more. For example, in our mock test, we actually test this, so it's easy for us to tell. So each read aloud doesn't really have a strict limit, but let's say the maximum time it takes is 25 to 30 seconds. So let's say this is going to take you 15 minutes every day. So just to summarize, you guys are going to spend 15 minutes a day on read aloud. You're going to spend 15 minutes a day on your repeat sentences. You're going to spend 40 hours total on your FIBs. And you're going to spend 10 to 15 hours total on your write from dictation. So in total, we got 55. So you got about 70 to 80 hours. So I'm going to have to stop there because my session is almost expiring. I got 2 minutes left. Just to summarize and to bring it back to where we started. If you text me and you call me and you say that you're getting 50s and you need to get 79 and you got 1 week for your exam, if you can not sleep for 1 week straight, and if you can put in 80 to 90 hours in a week, good luck. But for most people to prepare properly, probably going to take you from 5 to 7 or 8 weeks. And again, those of you guys that took the class with me, you can testify, you know how much hard work it takes. Partially 10% is the guidance, 90% is your effort, is your commitment. So guys, I'm going to have to stop there. We're going to answer, those of you guys that are taking online classes with us will continue in the Facebook group. The rest of you guys have a good night. Sorry to cut the session a little bit short tonight. I have a bit of a time constraint with the software I'm using. So if you like this, leave a comment right now on YouTube. Give us a like, comment your questions. Let us know what you struggle with, so next time I can cover your specific questions, and at least I can get some ideas what you want us to talk about. So leave us a comment. All of my students, good to see you. Thank you guys for the support. Evelyn, see you tomorrow. The rest of you guys, see you soon. And have a good night.